Hi folks, here is a short reminder for our AVID tutorial visit this Tuesday. Mrs. Wilson will be on our campus, periods 1 through 4, observing all of our tutors and all of our tutorial classes. So I know that we are ready to receive some good feedback so that we can better figure out how to navigate the challenges of having 3 AVID classes running at a time in periods 2 and 3. So let's go ahead and navigate this from both the student perspective and the tutor perspective. So for our students, what are the things that we need to remember when we do our TRFs? We need to make sure that they are ready when you come into class tomorrow or on any given Tuesday or Thursday. Please make sure that your tutorial question is higher level. Remember that your initial question is one question, your tutorial question or POC is another, and it should be more specific and it should be higher level. And the tutors have been giving you feedback and the opportunity to make your question stronger. Please take advantage of that. Please make sure that you have a follow-up question on your TRF when you give it to the tutors. This is to help ensure that we are truly helping you understand the points of confusion and points of conversation, and that if we are done with all of our TRFs in time, that we have more opportunity to practice and solidify your knowledge. Otherwise, the other option is to default to 2 TRFs a week, and I know that sometimes we have concerns about the amount of additional work that places on us for similar concerns. So please do be aware that you have that follow-up question to better ensure our success with your POCs. Please do remember that this should be a higher level question as well, and maybe similar to your tutorial question or a follow-up to your tutorial question. Most likely we'll use it on Thursdays, but in the occasions where we've got smaller groups or the additional time, it can be used on Tuesday. Remember that you will be receiving extra credit if you are the first person to present or if you are someone who is choosing to present your follow-up question. As far as your grouping, we will take a look at your grades and we'll take a look at what your needs are for the week when we place our groups. And that is why it is imperative that your TRF is ready to give to your tutors when you walk into class on Tuesdays. Please remember that when you get into your groups, you do need to have your notes and resources ready. So you do get the 2 minutes to get yourselves into your groups, to make sure that your boards are set up, that you have 3 column notes and markers and erasers. Please make sure that you have a book if you're using a book, if you're using a website such as Pearson Savas or Sapling or whatever. Please make sure that that is up and ready for you to use. Most groups that present on math will be having their problems on the board. If you are not doing math, you're doing government or English or econ or physics or English 100 or math 100, please make sure that you've got some semblance of a graphic organizer or charting that will help us conceptualize the point of confusion that you have or the talking points that you have. Please make sure that you are taking 3 column notes for these presentations and that you have someone designated to help take notes for the person who is presenting. I know that most of your groups are really solid on this, but I do want to reminder is there. Remember that the tutors will be circulating among their groups to make sure that they are not only scoring you for helping the presenter, but to help provide you with some guiding questions if they are needed. Please use your tutors. If you have a question, call them over. They know that they are there to help you and support you. And sometimes when we have fewer tutors in a room, they will get busy with another group. Please let them know that you need them, and please let me know that you need them or me, and we'll come to you. Please remember that at your level of tutorial, they should be working from giving you full credit and only deducting points if they need to remind you for the procedures that you already know. So just please be mindful of that. And even if you're not sure if they're going to be able to help you with the actual content, they can ask you the questions that might help jog your thinking. You know that I know nothing about math, but I can still ask a question that will hopefully help one of you guys get everybody to a place of different understanding. So please take advantage of that. As we finish up with the tutorial day, I'm okay if your groups choose to ask a tutor for help. I'm good if you're looking through your book and your notes and you're Googling things for information. I'm perfectly happy to help you email the teacher. Sometimes sending a problem with a picture to Miss DeLeon or Mr. Nguyen or Mr. Love helps us get an answer that we might not have gotten otherwise. So let's take advantage of those resources. Please make sure that you have provided a wrap-up for yourself, verbal, and that you have called a tutor over or me over to hear it. And please be ready to maybe shout out one thing that you did learn that day. It may not have been about your initial content area, but maybe you learned something about government, or maybe you remembered something about econ that you learned in summer school, or maybe you learned something about a book that's being read in another class that was interesting for you. So just be mindful and aware that that's something that we'll look for at the end of a tutorial day. So for you as a student, please take a look at the weakest part of your TRF. For several of you, it's just simply not taking the 10 minutes to complete the task on time. For others, it may be that you are underselling yourself with a POC that is not as extensive as it could be or should be. So please, think about the question that you're posing and make sure that it is at the level that measures up with your intelligence and your need, okay? And as you're getting ready to do your tutorials, think about the steps and processes that you need to solve. Think about the evidence that you need if you are doing a topic different from math. Think about your government notes and packets. Think about your English book and articles. What do you need to know or learn? Remember that your question, again, this is all higher level. It should be a higher level than what your initial question is. And how are we going to go through the methods of solving? If you're coming up to the board and you already know the answer to your question, my friend, it's not the right question, and you know that. So please, do the right thing. For tutors, please remember that part of today and the formal observation is to evaluate your practice as tutors, not just as a team, but as individuals that are monitoring groups. So here are some reminders for you. Please remember to be prompt, and if you are going to be late, let your other tutors in this class know or let me know. Please make sure that you are modeling all of the behaviors that you want to see in your students. In other words, your electronics are put away, your devices are put away, your extra materials are put away. I do appreciate making sure that you have your materials in case you have some downtime for school or a book that you're reading if you have some downtime. But typically on Tuesdays, we don't have a ton of downtime. And definitely on Thursdays as well, as people are trying to wrap up. So remember that part of what's happening today is that Mrs. Wilson and her staff are going to be observing us to give you feedback in terms of what we can do to make a stronger tutoring program for the winter observation. And this is especially necessary because we know that we're working with 3 AVID classes in a period, which makes it really difficult to disperse everybody equally and equitably. And so part of what I'm hoping she can do is provide us on some feedback on how to make that happen a little better with 7 tutors or 8 tutors or during finals, sometimes less. Remember that you're officially a paraeducator now. You are a professional. So I know you'll comport yourself as such in both manner and dress. You guys are officially Buena Park High School staff, which makes you the adult and one of the adults and mentors in the class. You are good to wear your college wear, you're good to wear BPHS gear, you're good to wear what you normally do because you're not the type that's going to show up in sweats and t-shirts and things like that. So you're comporting yourself as a professional because that's what we are. And you are a college student, and Mrs. Wilson is well aware of that because she's spoken to and hired each and every one of you. Remember that the students should be getting their TRFs to you as soon as possible at the beginning of the period, and you are more than welcome to holler and remind them to so do. We'll go ahead and we'll do daily writing and announcements at the beginning of class, and then I will have you guys move them into groups from there. Monday, kids and I will talk about where to best place the boards in the hopes of trying to streamline that for us on Tuesday. And as with anything, and I applaud those of you that I see in my classroom because your job is to coach and to help them. and your engagement with them is key. And I see how for several of you, you've worked over the time that you've been with them to build a relationship with them and work to mentor them and encourage them. And I cannot tell you what a joyful thing that is to watch, having known most of you for several years. So tomorrow will be good. It will be fun. It will be a good learning experience for us all, and I'm excited for Mrs. Wilson to see you guys in action. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to shoot me an email or text me, but I will see you on Tuesday. Have a great day.